It's the KC Arts Beat Report. I'm Patrick Neas. Thanks for joining me today. Well, the Chiefs are about to embark on their three-peat, but how about a 26th peat? We're going to be talking to organist Jan Kraybill here in just a moment. The organist extraordinaire, beloved figure in the Kansas City music community. But first, I want to ask you if you want to get the latest news on the arts in Kansas City, please like and subscribe to KC Arts Beat on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. And now, hello, Jan Kraybill. It's such a pleasure
Hello,
to talk to
Patrick.
you.
It's great to talk to you too.
Yes, boy, you've been doing these Super Bowl recitals for quite some time now, and that must have been kind of a desert period for all those years when the Chiefs had no hope of ever going to the Super Bowl.
Yes, it was kind of a desert period when our team was, we tried to cheer them on, but they were less than successful, we'll just say.
Well,
And always for 26 years, my promise has been if they make it to the Super Bowl, I'll play something in their honor. Well, for about, I don't know, 19 of those years, I didn't have to follow through with my promise. We came close sometimes, but never quite made it. But man, the last 5 years they've kept me busy. I've had to come up with something new every year to play in their honor.
and we're going to find out about what you came up with this year. But first, when is the recital and where is it? And how do people get tickets?
Yes, it's Sunday, February the 9th on Super Bowl Sunday. It starts at 2 in the afternoon, and I always promise that I will be done by 3:30. So there is no encore to this recital. The applause extends as long as the audience wants, but all of them want to get someplace to see the game too. So there's plenty of time, is my point. From 3:30 to kickoff time is plenty of time to get to wherever you're going to go and party and cheer on the Chiefs.
And
It's
you,
at
oh,
it's
go,
at
I'm sorry.
Community of Christ Auditorium. So I always say I play under a different dome. So it's the green domed building in Independence. 1001 West Walnut is the address in Independence. And tickets are not required. It's a free concert. So you can come. There are about 6,000 seats in that auditorium. So there will be space for everyone. And there's free parking as well.
And we should say that you're the organist in residence, of course, at Community of Christ with that magnificent organ. People will probably remember that your predecessor was John Obetz, right?
That's correct. Yes. John was a predecessor, a good friend, a mentor of mine, and I still miss him so much. And of course, the voice of the auditorium organ after his predecessor, Bethel Kanoki, retired. Then John continued with a radio broadcast that was called the Auditorium Organ and made this organ very famous across the world and across the country and across the world.
We used to carry that program on a station I used to work at, KXTR. And when I first started working at the station, I got the Sunday morning shift. And that was the high point of the morning for me, being able to go to work and know that I would get to hear the auditorium organ. And
Yeah, I remember listening to it when I was a young kid in Western Kansas, and I remember thinking, I wonder if I'll ever get to see that pipe organ because it was just so amazing, the sounds and the education that he gave us with his spoken comments. I learned a lot about organ music from that radio show.
now the auditorium organ is different from the organ. We should make clear that you'll be playing at the Super Bowl concert, right?
No, no, that is exactly the organ that'll be
Very,
played.
very
Yes.
good. Because
So
that's
the
another.
confusion comes, yeah, the confusion comes because I alternate between the two buildings because there are two wonderful organs at Community of Christ headquarters, one at the temple, the spired shaped building, and one at the auditorium, the dome shaped building. And I alternate between the two. So last year's was at the spire, and this year is at the dome, and next year will be at the spire. So I go back and forth because both organs deserve to be heard, and both organs are part of the Chiefs' good luck charms, I think.
Boy, they sure are. Yeah, I'm glad you clarified that. Sorry about that. So that will be at the auditorium this year.
Yes.
And
Yes.
also, you are the conservator of the Cassavant organ at Hellsberg Hall, which everybody gets to see every time they go to a symphony concert. Any words, before we start talking about Super Bowl, any words about the Cassavant organ?
Oh, yes. I'm very, very pleased to be a conservator of that instrument and especially in that beautiful hall. And I do have to say also, the volunteer and paid staff at the Kaufman Center are the best team. They just are such a pleasure to work for. And so every time I walk in the building, whether I'm going there to play or going there to take care of some organ maintenance or tuning, I'm just so pleased to be part of that organization.
That's wonderful. All right. Well, this is a big Super Bowl recital. I mean, this is major. So I would assume you have a lot of special stuff planned.
I do. Yes, I'm going to do my very best to give the Chiefs the push that they need and the good luck that they need. I wouldn't dream of not playing this concert because I tell you what, every time I've played it in person, 2021 and 22, I had to take a break and play them online only because of COVID. In those years, they didn't win. In every one of the in-person years when they've made the Super Bowl and I've played the recital, they have won every single time. So they have three Super Bowl wins, two in a row, but three total. And well, and then there was one in the 70s before I started these things.
Yes.
And so this year, it's me and the audience and the organ and music that I believe is going to send them on their way, and they're going to be victorious once more.
Wonderful. Well, you can do it, I know. So can you kind of guide us through, or I don't know if you want to keep a lot of this under wraps as a surprise or not, but is there anything you can share with us about
No,
what?
I mean the only surprise I hope will be how glorious the organ sounds because I can't show that online as well as you can in person. But the whole program is listed on my website, so there are no secrets. I will start with an improvisation for the Chiefs, and so it will involve some NFL football themes and maybe some Tech Nine and maybe some Taylor Swift, and we'll
Oh,
just see what comes out of this improvisation. So it's interesting practicing for that. You know, I just kind of do a stream of consciousness and I have a little bit of a structure in mind of what I think it's going to be, but it's in the moment, however it turns out. So that's always fun. So that's the piece in honor of the Chiefs. And then the rest of the concert is under the umbrella of a theme called It Takes a Team. So each year I choose a theme. Last year I was honoring Harrison Butker because he did so well in getting us so many wins just through his contribution to the team. And I have honored Patrick Mahomes as quarterback. But this year, I think the message of the Chiefs, every time I hear Andy Reid talk or Patrick Mahomes talk or Travis Kelce talk, any of them, they're always crediting the entire team. So the concert theme this year is It Takes a Team. And I'm looking at teamwork in music. So the piece that follows that improvisation is a piece by Andre Compra, who was for a long time in the 1600s and 1700s the master of music at Notre Dame Cathedral. And that's to honor the team that has recently restored the cathedral to even fuller glory than it was. And, you know, we heard the lovely sounds of the organ again, and we all were waiting very long for that. So that's my tribute to that team. Then the next piece is the Fantasy and Fugue in G minor of Johann Sebastian Bach, and I'm honoring John Obetz and the team that created the broadcast called the Auditorium Organ, because that was the opening piece that we heard every time that broadcast came on. That was the signal that we should stop and listen. So I'm playing that, and then let's see what follows that. Oh, Felix Mendelssohn's wonderful sonata is his first organ sonata, first of six. So he wrote that at a time when his family was being challenged by the severe illness of his young son. And so it's an expression of family teamwork, and it's an expression of anger and grief and hope and joy, all the emotions that would come forth when a family is pulling together in a time of trouble. So that's that teamwork. Let's see what else is next. Oh, Alec Whiten's wonderful fanfare. That was written for the Cathedral of St. John the Divine organ in New York City. That organ, too, had suffered a fire and is recently back. In fact, just this week, in fact, just today, is the very first of a recital series that is celebrating the rededication of that organ. So I wanted to celebrate that team. So
Yeah.
we're halfway through now. Okay, Edward Elgar, I'm playing his Nimrod from the Enigma Variations. That is honoring teams of friends. So the teams that you choose in life. The Enigma Variations, as you probably know, was all musical depictions of various personalities that were part of his circle of friends. Then I'll play Gwyneth Walker's three-movement piece called Sanctuary. That was a commission from the American Guild of Organists. So it is honoring that team, we organists together, and how we can encourage each other. And then the word sanctuary, I think these days we need to concentrate on what that means and how we can each provide sanctuary in times of trouble for neighbors and friends. And then I'm playing Robert Elmore's Rumba. That's a piece that is, oh my gosh, it's so much fun, has so much footwork in it. It's great. It's kind of a lighthearted piece. But Robert Elmore's life, I think, illustrated different teams. He was born in India, then he grew up in Lincoln, Nebraska, and then he moved to the Philadelphia area. His career spanned different themes. He was a theater organist, and he was a church organist, and he was a composer, of course, and a recitalist. So his life was all about teams. Wow. And then the final piece is by Rachel Laurin, a Canadian composer who unfortunately passed away just about a year and a half ago of cancer. And her piece honors the teams, the possibilities of teams. It's called Finale. And it was the final commission from an AGO, American Guild of Organists group in Washington, D.C. It was a foundation that gave out lots and lots of encouragement and lots of funds for scholarships and for composers and for organists as performers, did so much good. And this was their final commission. So it's a chance to honor that team and then to talk about the possibilities of the teams that we all are part of.
And speaking of teams, we do have to give special mention to the Kansas City chapter of the American Guild of Organists, which is such an amazing team. I mean, Kansas City is blessed with just such an outstanding roster of outstanding organists. It's amazing. And of course, you're a shining example of that. So
well, thank you so much. I do feel very blessed to be here in Kansas City. We recently, well, before COVID, so what was that, 2018, that we had a national convention of the American Guild of Organists here in Kansas City. And it was lovely to show my organist friends from all over the world what a great place Kansas City is. Just so many great instruments and so many great people that are not only wonderful musicians, but just great people too. People that I'm proud to call friends, people that encourage me as I encourage them. You're right, it's a wonderful team here.
When I read about your Super Bowl concert last year in the paper, I said that you were the Taylor Swift of organists. And I said Taylor Swift could not play her guitar with her feet the way.
Well, she can dance a lot better than I can, though. So we'll give credit where credit's due.
No, we're so lucky and honored to have you here in our midst, sharing this great music with us and having you in charge of those two magnificent organs in Independence. And people will get a chance to hear the auditorium organ. And tell us when and where again.
Yes, it's at Community of Christ Auditorium, the green domed building at 1001 West Walnut in Independence. It begins at 2 p.m. on Sunday, February the 9th, and we will, I promise, end by 3:30, and we will all go cheer on the Chiefs wherever we do that, and it will be a great day.
So I take it guacamole will not be served at the concert.
No, not at the concert, but probably after, don't you think?
I think that'd somewhere. Be that'd be great.
And red themed things. The thing I forgot to say is this is a casual concert. I mean, I will be dressed up in concert clothes, but everybody usually wears Chiefs red, whatever that means to you. So you can wear your jerseys, you can wear anything red or not. If you're not a Chiefs fan, you'll enjoy the concert too. So everyone is welcome. All the seats are free and all the parking is free.
Well, I'm just glad you're not playing where eagles fly. So that's yeah.
How could I do that? Oh my goodness.
Jan, it's been a while since we've had a chance to talk. It's just a real pleasure catching up with you. And I hope lots of Chiefs fans make it out there to hear your Super Bowl 26th annual Super Bowl concert out there at the Auditorium in Independence. I thank you so much for talking with me about it.
Well, thank you, Patrick, and thank you for everything you do. You are the voice of classical music in Kansas City, and it's been just such a pleasure to talk to you and to read and hear what you have done over the past many years. I'm
Well,
very
you're,
grateful for you.
well, you're very kind. Thank you so much. And again, please like and subscribe this to KC Arts Beat and follow us on Facebook. We have lots of great information about the arts every day, including John Schaefer's concerts of the week, so you can keep up to date on what's happening in Kansas City.